Editing Templates, Part 1. Let's have a look at the evaluation of V-beats in the record. We can see V-beats here in clusters. Here you can find the number of QRSs in the template. This is the cluster number of the template, the type of QRS. The circle shows the differences or similarity of QRSs in template to the drawn QRS median. In cluster number 2, it seems that great part of the QRSs are alike, but check it for safety's sake. Check it first with the demix function. In demix function, it can be seen that in channel 2 they are undesirable or in opposite samples among R waves. We select and delete them. After this, you can see that the QRS number of the cluster is decreased and a new cluster is created with number 27, which contains 28 pieces of QRSs. It can be clearly seen that on channel 2 the ECG median differs from the original cluster. This means that we have clustered, demixed, and taken out normal beats from the original cluster number 2. Look it over with waterfall technique for safety, although it is harder to check clusters with such a large number of beats. We scroll it, look the beats over, and it can be seen that it is a quite clear cluster. The QRS number of the next cluster is 449. We can see that it is a mixed cluster. We can use contrast function here to be able to decide easier which QRSs are unbefitting and rather ventricular beats. Before we take them out to narrow the display, we can see from the T waves that they probably are a set of ventricular beats. The newly created cluster with number 28 contains 19 pieces of ventricular beats. We check the rest with waterfall method. Looking it over, we can see that some ventricular beats still remain, but there can be found quite a lot of noise. In this case, the suggested technique is selecting the whole cluster, except the beats we want to keep. Selection is performed by Shift key. Then, with Control button, we restore only the QRSs that are definitely ventricular beats. We are talking about the QRSs in the dark gray horizontal band. Here the QRS on the bottom of the screen is ventricular. Check it, and if it's not ventricular, you can reselect it with the left mouse button. We can check it in the ECG window. Here the QRS detector detects the T wave, so we set it again as noise. We scroll through the whole cluster and deselect the QRSs we want to keep in the cluster. When all the selected beats are noise, push the right mouse button and in the pop-up window, rename all the selected beats as noise. After this, we can see that the cluster has changed. The noisy beats got to the noise cluster. Now the first cluster is right and also the second one. We will revise the next ones. All the beats in the third cluster seem to be normal beats. We can go through them even in the ECG window or in the waterfall window to check whether are there any ventricular beats in it. If we investigate some beats, we can find that there are some ventricular beats in the cluster. The most simple way again is to rename them as noise. There are only a few of them, so we won't lose much if we lose some normal beats. There's an interesting section. It is a question of decision, but it may be a supraventricular tachycardia, so we rename these beats to supraventricular. We are still in the cluster. Now we can rename the left beats to ventricular. We use Shift key again to select the first and last QRS. This way the whole cluster will be selected. With Control key we can deselect the QRSs that are ventricular. We rename the selected beats to noise. We check the content of cluster 12 with the help of waterfall. It is now appropriate. It is worth to check clusters with few QRSs with waterfall. The ones with several QRSs with the help of DMX option. This is a faster way. The other clusters have only fewer QRSs. At the end of the list, there are only clusters of noise. We can select them together and rename to noise. When we are ready, we merge these clusters with Auto Merge button if it's possible. So finally we have two focused ventricular beats left. It is important for the diagnosis.